Hi, my name is Saj Rambab. I'm one of the respiratory therapists at Morlen Health.
And hello to you and everyone else watching this video. I'm Ed Birnbaum. I'm also a respiratory therapist with the Morlen Health home-based pulmonary rehabilitation program.
Welcome to our pulmonary rehab educational series, Breathe Better 101. The topic for today is smoking cessation. Why is smoking addictive? Tobacco is the main ingredient in cigarettes, but tobacco by itself does not cause a smoker's addiction. The problem lies in the artificial flavorings and chemicals that get added to the tobacco. Nicotine is the key ingredient that causes a smoker's addiction, but nicotine is considered a stimulant.
Right. And what keeps people addicted to smoking beyond the kind of good feeling maybe that many people get from the nicotine is the association of smoking with other things that turns it into a habit. So when are people smoking? When they have that first cup of coffee in the morning, that feels good, and they associate that with the smoking. Smoking breaks, you're getting away from work, you're relaxing. You're smoking when you're doing something that you like doing, and after a while, smoking makes you feel those good feelings you get from the break you're taking, but you feel like you can't take a break without smoking, and so on and so on. This is how brains work, and this is what turns smoking into a habit that is harder to break than just getting away from the nicotine.
Now, facts about cigarettes. There are at least 599 additives or chemicals in cigarettes. Many of these additives are found in our food, but these additives were not tested for burning, and burning changes the properties of the chemicals.
That's very sneaky, isn't it?
And e-cigarettes, so we'll bring this up. It's become very, very popular recently. E-cigarettes are not as safe as some think. So the data is pretty clear that they're really not safe, but a lot of people still think it's better than smoking. The jury is still out on that completely. But while they do not burn tobacco, they still produce a vapor that is inhaled. Although there is no smoke or noxious odor, there are still toxins emitted. Now, noxious odor, I've been around some that actually smells pretty bad, but technically it's not noxious. It might be a fruity flavored odor. But like regular cigarettes, e-cigarettes contain nicotine, propylene glycol, and other toxins. E-cigarettes are still considered toxic.
And you will never know what toxins are in there. Even the same brand can be different from one batch to another, one time to another. There are things in there. If you don't know what's going into your lungs, it's not good for you.
So, preparing to quit. When people come to the hospital and we ask them if they smoke, generally people will say, "Oh, when I ask when's the last time or when did you quit smoking?" Oh, just recently. How recently? Right before their admission to the hospital. So maybe that's the reason that's going to help people prepare to quit. But you have to be prepared and on the right track and have the mindset to quit before you'll be successful. So you have to set a realistic goal for a quit date, prepare your environment, rid your house, car, and workplace of cigarettes and ashtrays. Tell your family, friends, and coworkers of your intent to quit smoking and ask that they respect your decision by not smoking in your presence. Seek support from a healthcare professional, pulmonary rehab team, what you're doing right now, your doctor, your respiratory therapist, or a counselor.
That's right. And this what applies to every kind of change in our behavior, whatever we're trying to do. And certainly with quitting smoking is people are ready at different times. And you've got to be ready to quit before you can quit. Now you might be ready to get ready to quit and make some of these preparations thinking ahead. That changes from time to time. Human beings change from day to day, but there will be a time when you're ready. It's on a scale like anything else from 0 to 10 or 5, whatever, is the top of the scale. And, be nice to yourself, get prepared in advance. And when the time is right, that's when to do it.
Medications may help. Over-the-counter nicotine replacement therapy options. There's a nicotine patch. It provides small amounts of nicotine through a patch placed on the skin. Nicotine gum is just chewed and it releases nicotine. There are nicotine inhalers, which looks like a cartridge through a mouthpiece, so you might get some of that oral fixation habit controlled with that. And there's also nicotine nasal sprays that are, it's a spray that's sprayed into your nose, like an allergy spray that you spray into the nose. And there are some oral medications also as an option to help get through the first months. But please talk to a provider about these medications and these options. Some of them do have some serious side effects.
That's right. Some of these can be used in combination. So some people do best by, let's say, having a patch, give them a consistent dose all day long from day to day, but also have something to use when those uh, the the uh, the urge to smoke can change during the day. People will say that there are certain times of day or certain things they're doing that make it harder right then to not smoke. Let's say with that first cup of coffee in the morning, that's a frequent one, or when driving to work or something like that. And so, in addition to the patch, you might want to say use a puff of that cartridge to give you a boost of the nicotine right then, or chew the gum right then. Again, your provider can help with that, and pharmacists can give you information. And then there's also good information online.
So be prepared for relapse. No one wants to think about when they're trying to quit about relapse. When you're trying to do something and be successful about it, you never want to think about being unsuccessful. But smoking is very difficult to quit. And most people have multiple attempts before they actually quit smoking. So many people fail at smoking cessation on their first attempt. Remember, never give up. The more time you are smoke free, the better. So it's not a failure. It's just giving yourself more time to get used to the idea of quitting. And many say that smoking is the most difficult thing to quit, the most difficult habit to kick.
Right. And that's just another example of how people, and we are humans, how we change. So we needed to uh, get ready in advance. And that readiness, you can move up and down in that readiness scale. You can move up and down, but if you're moving gradually higher and higher, then eventually you will get to that point where you won't relapse again. If you do, then once again, you move up and down in that scale, you're eventually going to be higher than you were. So there's uh, a failure is not a permanent failure; it's a relapse, and it's another step toward getting smoke free. You're really moving forward.
So avoid temptations. So we've listed a bunch of temptations that are here that can cause you to maybe light up another cigarette. But it doesn't mean you have to avoid all of them all at once. Pick a couple of ones that are the most likely to cause you to smoke, to light up, and eliminate those or avoid those. So, number one, drinking alcohol. Also, the one that Ed had mentioned is the morning cup of coffee. I'm not saying to give up coffee, just saying try to figure out a different way to have your coffee. Maybe have it outside or have a different setup for your coffee. And then fear of gaining weight. Most people gain no more than 10 pounds while they're quitting. So establish an exercise plan and eat healthy. And eating healthy and exercising can also help eliminate your temptation to smoke. And then, bad mood or depression. A lot of times when people are quitting, they'll be in a really foul mood, be really depressed, and then when they have the cigarette, it makes them feel better. But doing other things can help avoid that. So again, exercise, walking, doing other things, getting your mind out of that space of where you want to go back and have a cigarette.
Right. So what you're doing there, Saj, is you're talking about not just breaking old habits, but establishing new, more constructive habits. So now exercise is a part of your daily life. It becomes a good habit, eating healthfully, maybe not hanging out with some people. You don't have to change or lose all your old friendships, but maybe situations where you're only with other smokers, or you're making associations with other people who are walking with you in the morning and they're not smoking. And this all creates a virtuous cycle instead of a vicious cycle where everything leads to something else that's worse, and that makes something else worse. You've got new habits that are part of a good virtuous cycle where you're getting stronger, you're getting healthier, and you're not smoking, which helps you feel better when you're exercising and so on.
Now, reasons for becoming tobacco free. So there's reduced health risks. So smokers are far more likely to develop emphysema, lung cancer, heart disease, and many other illnesses. You can reduce premature aging and skin problems. It can improve your sleep if you cut back on smoking or eliminate smoking. Improve relationship with your non-smoking friends, family, and coworkers. And then cost. Smoking is expensive.
And so what Saj has produced, shown us there, is a list of reasons not to smoke. If you put them side by side, your reasons for smoking, well, it's a habit and you feel anxious sometimes if you're not smoking at a certain time of day, versus all these other reasons on the other side. And everybody's different, but everybody has these lists that they can make. And there'll be a lot of overlaps. There tends to be a lot of the same things on different people's lists, but not all the same. And you put them side by side, and you'll find that somewhere along the line, the reasons to quit smoking or to not smoke anymore once you've quit, that'll be more persuasive to yourself. It's got to be something that convinces you. This has got to be your reasons for quitting, not your wife's or your doctor's, but your own.
So part of that is you have to decide why you want to quit. So is it improving health? You'll use less oxygen. Is it to breathe better? Is it to save money? Is it to slow disease progression? Car or your clothes, your home might smell better, less mucus and shortness of breath, or many more. Like Ed was saying, you have to figure out the reasons that are most important to you that are going to help you get to your goal of being smoke free.
It's personal.
And then what are your triggers? So your triggers can be many things. We've had patients tell us that driving on a specific road, going to a place where they used to work would cause them to think about having a cigarette. Stress, boredom, eating, emotions, social situations, the morning cup of coffee. We touched on all those earlier on. But all those can be triggers, and there are many more that you can figure out. Everybody's unique. So what we do recommend is you make a log for a day or a couple of days. Write down each time you smoke or you have the urge to smoke. So it's not a bad idea to do this before you actually quit. Figure out the times when you do smoke. Then record the time of the day and what you were doing just before you had that urge or before you had that cigarette. Look for patterns in these smoking triggers and find ways to avoid or deal with these triggers effectively.
Right. These are things that have worked for a lot of people, and some of them will work for you too.
Working through withdrawal is a big problem. Nicotine is a very addictive drug. You will go through several weeks of withdrawal and may experience mood swings, lower energy, and have trouble thinking clearly, so foggy brain. But these symptoms will go away. You may cough more and have more mucus because the lungs are cleaning themselves out. So your lungs are waking up. It's getting all that old mucus out of there. But keep yourself and your mind busy. Play a game, go for a walk, work in your garden, exercise. Maybe call people that you haven't spoken to in a long time. Reconnect.
Right. The great majority of people, it turns out, who cough all the time when they're smoking, not all, but the majority, that cough will get a lot better. And people tell us that all the time. Not everything about your lungs, the permanent change, there are often in some permanent changes, they're not all going to go away. But the cough and the mucus almost always get much, much, much better.
So eat healthy and seek support. So eat low-fat snacks, so crunchy snacks, apple slices, or apple spices, as it may, is on the slide. Carrots, celery sticks, pretzels. You can get some low-fat sweet snacks, angel food cake, bananas, pineapple, low-fat cookies or muffins, creamy snacks, fat-free pudding, yogurt, applesauce. Really, as long as it's sort of a low-fat and a healthy snack, whatever it is that you like to do, there's almost everything out there has low-fat versions. Try to get some of those so you have those snacks handy. Get lots of support. Talk to a friend or friends. Ask a family member not to keep cigarettes in the house. You might have some places where cigarettes are hidden or stashed away. Ask somebody to help you get rid of those. Ask a friend or family member to quit with you, and then seek support in your pulmonary rehab group.
Another example of that virtuous circle, right? Or virtuous cycle. Eating better helps you quit smoking, and that's good for you. And eating better is good for you. So it's all good.
Want to quit? There's other ways that you can do it just from hearing us. American Cancer Society has a quit line, and that's right there. It's www.yesquit.org. American Lung Association has freedom from smoking classes. There's an Oregon quit line. You can go to quitnow.net/Oregon. And then also you can talk to your provider. Your providers will have plenty of resources, pamphlets, and handouts that they can give you for your local classes. American Lung Association and American Cancer Society have local associations. You can just go to the website, plug in your address, and you should be able to find some area that's close by. But please seek help if you're trying to quit. But that's the most important thing to do, is have the drive to quit smoking. There it is. You're smashing the cigarettes, right?
Right. So
thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time to hear our topic. And you can also get more information at morlenhealth.com. And thank you very much.
I hope this has helped you if you are a smoker, and it has helped you quit or helping you stay smoke free. And if you're not, and it may help you help someone else, which is for anybody who quits smoking, it's often the single best thing you can do for your health. Bye-bye.